Alright guys, just back at you with another product review. I just did a set of Trailcraft cranks, which I love, and this is another product that I wanted to talk about that I also love. So these Nitecore, these are NU25. This is the first generation NU25. This is the second generation also. This is the ultralight UL designation. So it comes with this shock cord headband kind of setup, as opposed to this older, just elastic. Which this light's old enough, and I use these daily. This is anyway. This is old enough that this elastic is getting close to the end of life. I'll probably end up needing to replace that, or do one of these shock cord upgrades. Or to me, well, I guess I'll get into that a little bit later. These are, I think, fairly well known and used in the hiking community. It's a lightweight headlamp kind of setup, and I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, Nitecore came out with Gen 2 of the product. This is not intended to be an in-depth review. That's not what I'm going to do here. This is more of a conversation on my experiences, how I use them, and what I like and don't like about the two generations. I don't know if you can, outside of hitting eBay and finding them used or something, I don't even know if you can buy Gen 1 anymore anyway. But after living with both of these lights, I'll tell you what, I actually prefer Gen 1 a little bit better, and I'll tell you why. So Gen 1, what I really like is, the initial, it's very simple user interface, guys. It doesn't have all the modes and capabilities that the Gen 2 does, and so I'm going to guess a lot of people just from mode capabilities are going to be like, oh, Gen 1 or Gen 2 is way better. Well, I primarily use this around the house, to help me see things, read in the dark, whatever it might be, and I am most of the time just using this initial moonlight setting, and it's super easy. You just press the button and it comes on. And you can press the button to make it brighter and so forth. But I'm going to say probably 90% of the time I'm using it, it's just in the middle of the night or late at night when I'm reading and I don't have a reading lamp handy or something like that. I just put this thing on and it's in moonlight. Sometimes I'm kicking it up to the second setting. I'm primarily using it for that purpose. And in that way, I like this first gen better. I will say the second gen has a lot more capability, various modes. Something I like about the second gen better is the red light capability. That red light there is much brighter than the first gen, and so particularly when I'm out camping. Obviously I'm at home more than I'm out camping, but when I'm out camping I do find myself using the second gen because that red light function and being out in the woods and dealing with all the bugs, running the red light is definitely preferable. So I do find myself, when I'm in hiking, camping situations, I am reaching for the second gen. I would say the second gen is better for that because the red light setting is better. What I don't necessarily care for on the second gen is accessing the moonlight setting. So you got to double tap, and I don't know, I'm in my mid 40s. I wake up in the middle of the night when I really want that moonlight setting, and I try to double tap that, and God only knows how that's going to go. I often find myself, in that situation. I end up having to press, go through that, cycle through it a couple of times before I actually get the lighting situation I want. That's, I'll say, my primary complaint about Gen 2 is having to double tap for that moonlight. That is my chief complaint. Again, not a product review, but the upgrades otherwise were pretty significant. I mean, going to USB-C charge port versus the old micro. That's one less cable you got to carry. I believe it's brighter. Again, this is not intended to be a full product review. This is just my experiences. Also, from a comfort perspective, I much prefer this old elastic band. The shock cord setup is popular with hikers because it weighs a lot less. For me, I'd rather carry the extra ounce or two or whatever it is. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I would rather deal with from an everyday use perspective. So I guess what I'm getting to here, guys, is you see I have both of them. I have both of these lights. This one I use at home. This one I have actually in my everyday carry bag. I have this one with me all the time out and about and for camping trips and so forth. So in the end, you're not going to go wrong with either light. Both of them are good lights. You're not going to go wrong, and I think at this point you're only going to find this second gen available anyway. In part, I'm hoping that making this video, maybe the guys at Nitecore will come across this at some point, and perhaps my opinion, I don't know if you guys have had similar experiences or not, but maybe they'll see this and say, hey, you know what, maybe there's a way to make that moonlight feature more accessible. Again, that's the primary mode that I'm using it in. So I often don't find myself needing the high intensity modes for my intended purpose. So, guys, I hope this is helpful. I'll check you later.